Hi again, hotties. This is a quick recipe that I am actually going to experiment with. So, no promises, but we'll see what happens. Basically, we're going to make some zucchini cakes because I'm hungry and I have nothing in my fridge and it's kind of too late to go out and buy anything. So I looked in my pantry and I had some red quinoa left over. I have a little bit of zucchini. I have eggs, onions, and that's about it. So I'm going to make the zucchini cakes. We're just going to mix some ingredients together. I'm cooking quinoa right now. We've already gone through that before. If you want to go back, look at Hot in the Kitchen episode 10 is where we made the quinoa and kale salad and I explained how to cook it there. If not, it's really easy. It's basically 1 part quinoa, 2 parts water, and you simmer it. You bring it to a boil and then simmer for about 20 minutes or until the water's all gone and the seeds are open. The grains are open. So, I think this is almost ready. Once your quinoa is cooked, it's all fluffy and nice, I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to let it cool down a bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grate this zucchini I have here. Just with a cheese grater, like that. So now I have all the grated zucchini right there. And I'm going to grate some of the onion too. The reason why I'm grating these is to give it a nice cakey texture, you know, kind of like a crab cake almost, except it's going to be all vegetables and grains. That didn't work. So I'm going to chop the onion. Just really thin like that. And then once we have that, we'll chop it smaller. Now that we have our onions and zucchini mix, I'm going to put in the quinoa. For the quinoa, I cooked it with some chicken base and curry and garlic salt and pepper. So that's what's in here. And now I'm going to pour my cooked quinoa over my zucchini and onions. So I don't really need to add too much seasoning to this because my grains are already flavored. If anything, I'm just going to add some pepper. Now, while we mix this, we're going to heat up a pan. I'm going to put it at high heat so it makes it nice and golden. Okay, so now I'm going to mix this all together. Quinoa is a great substitute for breadcrumbs and stuff like that because it's better just because it's a whole grain instead of a processed grain. So you can use it as a substitute for breadcrumbs when you make crab cakes or shrimp cakes or any other type of cakes. So now that that's ready, we're going to need an egg, 1 egg in this mix to make it all stick together. If you're wondering, this is how I come up with my recipes. I'm hungry and didn't plan my shopping accordingly, and then I just have to figure out something to make quickly because I'm usually starving by the time I decide to make something. So now that our pan's nice and hot, put some grapeseed oil on it. And then we're going to grab lumps of our mix here. So now that the pan is nice and hot, I'm going to grab a big enough portion, however big you want to make them really. So from here we just pretty much kind of eyeball it. We're going to kind of try to lift the corners to see when it's ready, and if it doesn't crumble, it's ready. You'll see. Okay, so we're going to check and see if it's ready to flip. See how it's staying mostly in one piece. There we go. Oh, it's a little blackened. So maybe we're going to try medium heat. See if it burns less. See, we're all learning here. We're all learning. I've lowered the heat to medium. See if the other side looks a little better. It's going to be nice and crunchy. You know, if you like crispy, that's a good setting to have it at. You also need to make sure that the center is well cooked, because I personally don't want mushy cakes, but I want the zucchini to cook well, and I want the egg to cook well too. I don't want it to be too runny, or I don't want to know that there's egg in there, you know. So we'll just leave it there. So this cake seems to be done. Let's see it. Looks pretty done, right? So I'm making a little dressing, dipping sauce or something to drizzle over the salad and the cakes. Making lime and ginger dressing. It's basically the juice of 2 limes, grapeseed oil, a little bit of ginger, salt and pepper, and some cayenne pepper. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to try this with the cakes, see if it's good. It is. Cake number 2 is almost done. This is the one we made entirely on medium heat, so let's go check on it. Yeah, it's taking a little longer, so I am going to raise it up to high. I'm usually a little impatient, so I tend to cook things on high, but some things are better cooked at a medium heat. These cakes in particular aren't so difficult. I think you can just cook them on high while you get that crunch, that crispy one, then you can turn it down and then flip it and put it on high again and then lower it again, is I think what will work. But we'll see. So far the taste is really good, so I don't mind the crispiness. In fact, that's what I want, that's what I like, so I'm putting it back on. Okay, looks like our second cake is done. See how nice and sturdy it is? Just gonna plate it here. Here's our plate. We have our zucchini and quinoa cakes and our little salads. I'm just gonna drizzle a little bit of this all over it. There we go. And of course you can make more dressing. I don't think I'll need any more. And that's it. All done. Zucchini and quinoa cakes and a green salad. Perfect meal. Enjoy, guys. Stay hot.